Raw food is the default setting of planet Earth. Every lion, every eagle, every chimpanzee, raw. Except us. Humans are the only species that looks at perfectly good food and says, "You know what this needs? Fire." Imagine sitting in a field with a raw potato. You take a bite, it's hard, chalky, kind of sad. Now imagine that same potato baked, fluffy, and covered in butter. Same plant, completely different experience. So what happened? Why did we become the only creatures who cook? And could this simple habit be the reason we have big brains and Wi-Fi? Hi, welcome to Why Explained. Today we're uncovering why we cook, and how fire may have shaped what it means to be human. Most people think cooking is about taste, or safety, or just not getting food poisoning. And that's fair. Cooking kills bacteria. It makes meat less chewy. It turns hard grains into fluffy rice instead of dental challenges. So it feels like a practical upgrade, like installing food software version 2.0. But here's the common assumption. We cook because it makes food better. That's true, but it's not the whole story. Because if cooking were only about flavor, evolution wouldn't care. Lions aren't out there seasoning antelope. Chimpanzees don't roast bananas over a campfire. Yet humans didn't just start cooking, we adapted to it. According to anthropologists, something dramatic happened when early humans began using fire regularly around 1.5 to 2 million years ago. Cooking didn't just change our menu, it changed our bodies. It changed our schedule, and it may have changed the size of our brains. So to understand why we cook, we have to look at something surprisingly simple: energy. Let's talk about calories. Your body is basically a biological machine, and like any machine, it runs on fuel. The easier that fuel is to extract, the better. Now imagine eating everything raw. Raw meat is tough. Raw roots are fibrous. Raw grains are nearly impossible to digest. Your jaw would be working overtime. Your stomach would be doing hours of chemical gymnastics just to squeeze out enough energy to survive. In fact, studies on modern primates show they spend up to half their day chewing. Half their day. The early humans faced the same problem until fire entered the chat. When you cook food, heat breaks down tough plant cell walls. It gelatinizes starch. It denatures proteins. In simple terms, it pre-digests your meal. The anthropologist Richard Wrangham famously described cooking as an external stomach. The fire does part of the digestive work before the food even touches your teeth. That means fewer calories burned chewing, fewer calories burned digesting, more calories available for something else. And evolution loves efficiency. Over time, human teeth got smaller. Our jaws became less bulky. Our digestive tracts shrank compared to other primates. We didn't need massive chewing muscles anymore. So where did that saved energy go? Upstairs. The human brain is expensive. It uses about 20% of our resting energy, even though it's only about 2% of our body weight. That's like driving a sports car engine in a small sedan. According to researchers, the shift to cooked food made it possible to support a larger brain without spending the entire day eating. In other words, cooking didn't just help us survive. It may have helped us think. Fire turned tough roots into usable fuel. That fuel powered neurons. And those neurons built tools, language, and eventually, YouTube. But cooking didn't just change our biology, it changed our behavior. And that's where things get even more interesting. Here's the part no one talks about. Cooking may have made us smarter, but it also made us dependent. Once our teeth got smaller and our guts got shorter, going back to a fully raw diet wasn't just inconvenient, it was inefficient. Experiments have shown that people who try eating only raw food often lose weight unintentionally, even when they eat a lot. Their bodies simply can't extract enough energy. In other words, we evolved to rely on cooked calories. Fire didn't just upgrade our food, it locked us into a new system. And cooking did something else unexpected. It forced us to slow down. Raw eating is quick. You find food, you eat it immediately. But cooking takes time. You gather wood, you maintain a fire, you wait. That waiting created something new, a shared moment. Anthropologists suggest that early humans likely gathered around fires at night. Fire provided protection from predators. It extended daylight. It created a glowing circle of safety in the dark. Inside that circle, people faced each other. They shared food. They shared stories. They formed bonds. Cooking didn't just feed individuals, it built groups. So while fire reshaped our jaws and powered our brains, it may have also laid the groundwork for families, cooperation, and even complex language. All because someone, somewhere, decided to throw dinner into the flames. And yet, there's still one more reason we cook. And it's the most delicious one. There's one final reason we cook. Flavor. When you sear a steak or toast bread, something magical happens at the molecular level. Sugars and amino acids rearrange themselves in what scientists call the Maillard reaction. It creates those rich, savory, slightly sweet flavors we instinctively love. Evolution likely wired us to prefer cooked tastes because they signal something important: safe, energy-dense food. So cooking isn't just practical. It isn't just social. It isn't just biological. It's all three. A simple spark turned hard roots into brain fuel. It turned waiting into storytelling. It turned survival into community. The next time you turn on your stove, remember, you're not just making dinner. You're participating in a 2 million-year experiment that helped shape humanity. Science is full of strange little surprises. If questions like this make your brain light up, Why Explained has plenty more waiting for you. And now I'm curious, what's one cooked meal you absolutely couldn't live without? Stay curious.